College football experts have this completely wrong about the Georgia Bulldogs. No, I'm not talking about this year's Georgia team, and I'm not even talking about last year's Georgia teams. I'm talking about the 2021 and 2022 Georgia football teams because right now there is a ton of disrespect going around about the 2021 Georgia Bulldogs. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, Matt, what are you even talking about, right? It is the end of May. Where are you even coming up with this? But we've got to talk about it. I've got to get this off my chest because now is the time of year where we've got insiders and college football experts putting together these top 25 greatest teams, top 25 greatest players. And I'm not trying to pick on this specific guy, Stuart Mandel at The Athletic, who I think is a very well-respected college football insider, but he came up with the rankings of the best college football teams since 2000, right? That was his list. He named 25 teams, and at number 7 are the 2022 Georgia Bulldogs, which I think makes really good sense. That was a really, really good team. One of the best Georgia teams, obviously, of all time. They went undefeated. But nowhere on his list in his top 25 did he have the 2021 Georgia Bulldog team. Now, this may be a hot take to a lot of people. This might sound ridiculous, but I covered both those teams. And I can tell you right now, the 2021 Georgia Bulldogs were better than the 2022 Georgia Bulldogs, okay? They were the better team. They did not have the better season. That's obvious, right? And you could kind of make the argument for it, but the 21 team lost against Alabama in the SEC title game. They didn't get embarrassed. They didn't get crushed, but it was a sound loss, right? The 22 Georgia team didn't lose a single game. They were undefeated. The 22 team had the better season. The 21 team was better. So when I see these rankings of the best college football teams since 2000, right, and the 22 Dogs are 7, and there's no 21 Georgia team, I'm thinking, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? That had one of the greatest defenses in college football history. There is no way you can say Georgia got better without Nakobe Dean, best linebacker in college football, without Jordan Davis, without number 1 overall pick Trayvon Walker, right? Without first-round pick Lewis Cine, without their 2 starting running backs, James Cook and Zamir White, without multi-year starter Jamari Sawyer on the offensive line, without George Pickens, without Quay Walker at linebacker, Channing Tindall, even Adam Anderson, right? I mean, what are we doing here? Georgia did not get better in 2022 after losing all those guys. They just didn't, okay? From a talent perspective and from even a team standpoint, 21 was better. 22 had a better season. That's all I'm trying to say. So, and Stuart Mandel made this list, and again, he's well respected. I'm not trying to get after him at all, right? But I've seen it in other places too. The 21 Georgia team was better. They were a better team than 2022, and I just don't think they are getting the credit that they deserve. Let's go over that 21 Georgia team, okay? If you're a younger Georgia fan, I'm sure you watched this. Everyone watching this video remembers these 2 teams. And if you disagree with me, let me know in the comment section below. But I can't fathom saying that Georgia got better after losing 14 draft picks, including the best linebacker, and Jordan Davis, an all-timer, and Trayvon Walker, all of it, okay? There were so many guys. They did not get better. They had the better season in 22, but they were not the better team. The 2021 Georgia Bulldogs beat the number 3 Clemson Tigers to open up the season. Thanks to the defense. They sacked DJ Uiagalelei 100 times in that game. All right, they won 10-3. Pick 6 by Chris Smith was the difference in that one. They crushed UAB a week later. They throttled South Carolina in week 3, 40-13. Shut out Vanderbilt 62-0. Number 8 Arkansas, undefeated Arkansas at the time, came to Sanford Stadium in week 5. College game day was there. It was noon. Crowd was going nuts. Georgia mopped the floor with them, 37-0. The next week, they go to Auburn. Number 18 Auburn had no problem with them. They won by 24 points on the Plains. That's a tough place to play. 21 Georgia team said, nah, this is easy. We'll go crush them. They come back to Sanford Stadium, playing in Athens against number 11 Kentucky. College game day comes back. What do? 30-13. Game's not even close. And that was a really good Kentucky team. They were good. They weren't really good. Either way, College game day was the biggest game of the week. Georgia crushed them. Against the Gators, 34-7. They won by 24 points. The defense just mauled them in that game. Wasn't even close. Then Missouri, go back to Athens. Missouri just crushed them again, 43-6. I mean, these games were over at the half. They weren't even competitive. Week after week after week, the defense dominated. Stetson Bennett gets better and better by the week. That was such a good team, and I think people kind of forget it because of that loss to Alabama. It was a bad one. They were an elite team that had a bad week. That's what that was. After they crushed Missouri, they go up to Knoxville, Neyland Stadium against Tennessee. 41-17, no big deal. Easy, comfortable win. Charleston Southern was, Charleston Southern. Nobody cares. Oh, senior day. Jordan Davis rushed for a touchdown. That was a big deal. But then they go to Atlanta, Georgia Tech, and they win 45-0. Okay, what are we doing here? This team was dominant. Then they go to Atlanta the next week, and they have that bad loss, right? They tried to keep it close. They just didn't bring their A game. They were a little tired. It wasn't their day. And the defense they had a bad game. Their only bad game of the year. That was the only time they gave up more than 18 points on defense all season long. 18 or more points. Only one team did it, and that was that Alabama team in Atlanta. They lost 41-24. Not a great game. Again, elite team, just had a bad game. Then they go crush Michigan in the Orange Bowl semifinal. Just clobbered them. 34-11. It wasn't that close. It was a complete beatdown. And then they beat Alabama, revenge game, in Indianapolis for the first national championship since 1980. And they won by double digits, 33-18. Okay, that was an outstanding team. Do not tell me that there are 25 better teams than the 21 Georgia Bulldogs in year 2000. And Stewart Mandel, he had Auburn. 2010 Auburn loses to 2021 Georgia by double digits. That's it. That was Cam Newton and a bunch of nobodies. Cam Newton's not doing a whole bunch of anything against that 21 defense. If he has some help around him, sure, I'm sure they could score some points. But Cam Newton by himself ain't doing anything. I could talk on and on about that list. He's got 2005 Texas at 3, and then 2005 USC 9, spots down. There's no way 9 teams are in between 2005 Texas and 2005 USC. 2012 Alabama is number 15. 2012 Georgia should be 16. How do you have? I'm going further down than I need to. But let's talk about that 22 Georgia team, okay? Undefeated, obviously a crush Oregon to start the season. Number 11 Oregon in Atlanta, 49-3. And I remember thinking after that game, they're going to repeat. They have everything they need to repeat as national champions. But it wasn't as clean. Now, they didn't lose a game, but they did have that ugly win at Missouri, 26-22. That 21 team crushes that Missouri team, even up there. I mean, it's not close. They gave up 22 points to Kent State. They crushed South Carolina, as they should have. They beat Auburn by 32 points. They crushed Vanderbilt again. They gave up 20 to Florida. Number 1 Tennessee handled them. Great win, one of the biggest games in Athens and Sanford Stadium history. That was an outstanding win. And again, that 22 Georgia team was phenomenal. And I'm not trying to downplay what they did, but they were not better than the 21 Georgia team. And it's just something I've seen multiple times out there. And I just thought, you know what? I've got to talk about this. I covered both teams, and I do think the 22 team should get all the respect in the world. 15-0, undefeated. I get all that. They stepped up. They won big games at the end, like Missouri and like that Ohio State game. But again, that 16-6 win against Kentucky in the freezing cold, that was not impressive at all. That was a get up there, win the game, and get back. But that 21 team would have had no problem up there. They would have won that game by more than 10. They gave up 30 to LSU. They gave up 41 to Ohio State. The defense wasn't as good. And again, you can't tell me they improved as a team without Nakobe Dean, Trayvon Walker, George Pickens, James Cook, Zamir White, on and on and on. You all right? You get what I'm saying here? So Stewart Mandel, I'm sure he's one of the best out there, right? He's been doing this for a really long time. But to put 22 Georgia at number 7, which I get, but not even have 21 Georgia near your top 25, but have other teams who didn't win a national championship on that list, call me crazy, but the experts are completely wrong about the 2021 Georgia team. I could go on for another 10 minutes about this, but again, all the respect in the world to the 22 Georgia team. That is the second best team I have covered in the Dogs for dogpost.com and for y'all. They were not better than the 21 team. They had the better season. They went undefeated, right? And just throttled TCU in that national championship game, won it by 100 points. The 2021 Georgia team, even with that loss in the SEC championship, was the better team. They did not get better in 2022. Better season, not the better team. I just wanted to get out there and talk about this. I'm not going to talk about this more in the summer and the fall because there are more important things to talk about. But late May, not a whole lot going on outside of recruiting. We're going to talk about this. The 2021 Georgia team absolutely deserves more credit than the experts in college football are giving them credit for. So that's my rant today. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. If you don't agree, let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear why. But in my opinion, 2021 Georgia, better team than the 2022 Georgia team. I'm slumbering on my words right now. Just a big time rant. It was a fun rant, but hope you learned something, and I'll see you over on the website.